Tonight, medium Nancy Matz joins me to answer some of your questions. See you in about 5 minutes. Grab your popcorn and snacks. Find a comfy spot, take a seat or lie down, and let me transport you to a place of fantasy, ghost stories, ancient legends, odd creatures, alien encounters, and other magical topics. You may even decide to join the conversation. From faraway lands to your own backyard, with a small dash of pixie dust. Turn out the lights and open your minds. The journey is about to begin. Good evening, everyone. How is everybody? Good. I heard everybody say good. Awesome. Well, I'm just cooling off, man. I've been sitting in my house and waiting to come on the air here. It's, 106 degrees outside. And been sitting in here about 45 minutes trying to cool off, get the show ready to go and all that good stuff. But we're here. My name is Charlotte. I'm going to be your host for the next hour. It's going to be an interesting evening. Nancy Matz was just in the green room, and she's not anymore, so she disappeared on me. Hopefully she gets back in. But I am the owner of the California Haunts Paranormal Investigation Team based out of Sacramento, California. We are 45 strong up and down the state, and that means we can help you in any direction you need to be at. I know whether it's Northern California all the way down through Southern California to the Mexican border. We have people. We have people within range, and if we're not within range, we're probably 3 or 4 counties away so we can get to you. The best part of this is we've also got people in Arizona. No, I'm sorry, Nevada. I just had 2 popsicles, so I'm good to go. Nevada, Oregon, Washington, and Hawaii. So we're all over the place. We've always been all over the place. We'll be all over the place forever. But I'm glad to be here, and I hope you're glad to be here tonight. It's Friday. No, it feels like Friday. It feels like Friday, and that's because we're usually doing this on Friday, right? Am I right? I'm looking at Jen Martin. Yeah. Hi, Jen. Hi, Pamela. Hi, Jerry. We're going to have a bunch of people in here. Nancy's having trouble with audio right now, so we're waiting for her to come on. But, yeah, it's been hot all day. It topped out at 107 today. So for everybody that lives back east, it's miserable. But the thing is, it's a dry heat. We do get humid here, but, it's a dry heat. So, it is what it is, but it's hot. It's like Arizona heat here. It gets really hot. Arizona's hot. Arizona's a lot hotter than we are, but it gets really dry here, and especially being in a drought because we can't water. We can't do any of that. Yeah, too hot, right, Jerry? We can't do any of that other stuff. We're only allowed to water like twice a week, so, it's hard. It makes it really hard. So before the show, I sucked down 2 sugary popsicles, so I'm good to go, right? I'm good to go. Anyway, tonight, like I said, it feels like Friday because usually Friday is casual Friday with Nancy Matz, right? But we changed it up because I have a guest that has to have Friday, so we decided to bring Nancy on Tuesday for a change. You can tell I'm not in my Aloha's today because it's Tuesday. We only do Aloha's on Friday. But I'm glad everybody's here. And if you're new, okay, if you're watching from Facebook and you like what you see, please hit that follow button. If you're watching from Twitch and you like what you see, again, please hit that follow button. Just like if you're on YouTube watching, hit that follow button and hit that subscribe button, okay? And that's the little ghost down in the bottom right-hand corner with the Sherlock Holmes hat on and the magnifying glass. And he will, that'll put you into subscribing. There's more than 350 videos over there. And they're going to be on different topics. Like, for instance, paranormal, right? Tomorrow's guest, David Keck. David Keck was a victim of a hate crime. So we're going to be talking about hate crimes and different types of abuse tomorrow. That's what I mean. I like to change it up a little bit when I'm doing these shows. So tomorrow's one of those days. But it's an important day because of that. Because we're going to be talking about a very important topic. All right? Anyhow, let me see what Nancy's texting me here. Give me a seckie. Okay. She can hear me now. Can you hear me now? Okay. She can hear me now. So anyway, without further ado, and just before we start, I'm going to put some ground rules down tonight. Nancy will answer one question. First, we're going to have a little meet and greet with Nancy. Okay? Then she's going to answer one question, and it's going to be about who is around you. All right? Now, sometimes, we talked about this Friday, sometimes the people that are around you after they're gone are people that you don't expect. In the case of my mother, she had a great, 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 great uncle that was hanging out here with her. She had no clue who it was, but the guy was here. So it happens. Okay, a friend of mine whose brother passed away had an uncle of his that the family, really knew but didn't know. But the uncle was hanging out with him. So you never know who's going to be hanging out around you. So tonight, don't be too surprised if Nancy mentions somebody or describes somebody that you probably know, but it's kind of a distant relative or a distant friend. It may not be who you think it is, because that's how it works. The people that hang around you the most might not be here today, right? Because they're allowed to come and go like any of us. So that happens. So it could be somebody else hanging out with you. All right. So that's just what I'm saying. So one question. All right, and it'll probably be about an hour today that we're going to be on. And so I'm kind of tired. Nancy's kind of tired, so we're going to try and keep it pretty close to an hour today instead of going on and on. But rest assured, we'll get to everybody in the chat room. All right, let me bring Nancy in.
Hi.
I should have 2 popsicles before the show more often.
Pardon me?
I should have those 2 popsicles before I do the show more often.
Oh, good. I have my cup of coffee, and it says prosperity. I'm the queen of coffee cups. If you have something, you've seen my coffee cup with purple with the cat. One side says caffeinated, and the other says decaffeinated. And I did have a cup of coffee. So this is the last Friday night. Mm-hmm. I was getting ready for a move on Monday. Monday we moved, and it was a third of big moves. So we still have boxes. I've been working so hard and catching with clients. It's been hot. Oh my gosh, going outdoors and sorting through boxes. I know everybody's going, oh, I know what she's been through. Well, darn, it's not fun at all. And you call and you have to change addresses and banks. I had to go to the... Anyway, it doesn't change my vision, because I see just the same. It's almost like you get a bucket of energy a day. How you spend it's up to you. But when I'm the other person, I don't know how this happens, but it's amazing to me that I can still work. The problem is that the human being is tired. So sometimes I interpret it, not quite 100%, but my neck is sore. My voice is sore. So we're going to do as much as we can. And sometimes people don't want to know who's around them. If I don't see somebody immediately, I might tonight, then ask about something else. I'm open. Spirit people are always really great. Char, was it this show or somebody else's show? I don't know. Where I talked about my agent had come over to have me sign paper, and I saw his uncle reading the newspaper. Did I say that? Huh?
I don't remember that.
So this happened. See, he came over a few days before we moved on Monday. So I think it was either Thursday or Saturday, because I don't think it was on Friday. Don't remember. So he comes in, he's 6'1", and he was talking. I had a signed last minute piece of paper, and this big figure showed up, and I went, whoa. And he made his presence known, dark wavy hair. And he did go home and tell his wife this man has shown up. Well, anyway, I gave him enough description. He says, oh, that's my grandfather. And the minute he said, I said something, but the minute he said that, it was almost like it took me. And you know how your grandparents, we used to get newspapers every day. And so you would see a man do this, not necessarily a woman. You get the edges and you'd flap it and make it open up. I did just that gesture. And the man stood back. I said, what does that mean? He says, well, he was an Arab, and they moved to the States, and he didn't have his newspaper in that language. So his neighbors and friends and family, I don't remember who he said exactly, would mail him newspapers all the time. And as soon as he got one, and I gestured, sitting down with a pack, well, boom, flip that. And so I won the prize. I'm going to read my Arab newspaper in my own language. And he just was, eyes got this big. It's like, maybe in this gentleman's life, I haven't been around, and maybe his culture doesn't not necessarily disapprove of what I do, but I've told people that if I'm in a situation where I see that, I cannot not say something. It's like it bottles up in my head. And you'll hear a lot of intuitives say, when I get something, if I don't release it,
Mm-hmm.
it does you harm. And I thought to myself, oh no, who's this guy? And then he wants his presence seen. And my agent was very, very open to it. In fact, he went home and told his wife. So maybe the relatives seem to know, you know. And I'll start out with a session. The other day I had a lady who, and it's no one Char knows or anybody in the chat room. And she had called because she had 3 deaths in the family, 2 or 3, and 3, I think. And one of them was her brother. And I immediately started describing all these people around him. And she says, oh my God, I don't need a reading now. You just said everything in 10 minutes. You know, it's like, well, you have anything else you might. And so we went a while, but sometimes I can't stop it. Like, you know, people know who I am. It's like, okay, I know who she is. I trust her. Because if you don't trust me, or if you don't like me, don't call me. Don't bother my time. And because you're paying for it, you relax and go, wow, I can't believe this woman can do this. And if you go in with that attitude, I'll get more. And it's absolutely humbling. And I'm the first person in the whole world that says, if you get your ego in the way, it's going to block you because you're going to think you're so hot pants that you can't do anything wrong. Well, excuse me, that does not work with me. Anybody knows me, go, well, salt of the earth. I'm going to see somebody, that's who you're going to. If I don't see it, I don't say nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like, you're there, you're not there, and I'm only a tool. So remember that, everybody. And it's important that if you have readings from people like me, have somebody with a down-to-earth attitude. I did not get into this because I had nothing else to do that day. I had a 24-year career as a manager at Pacific Bell, got cancer, got divorced, and then went, hey, there's got to be more to life than this. And the universe directed me to a spiritualist church where I figured they told me what was wrong with me after I started describing and talking about the people there and the dead people. Oh, you know what's wrong with you? I go, no, what? I was so intrigued. I left a 24-year career, did this full time, and I've been doing this for 32 years. If that's not dedication to this, nothing is. And people call me and they say, I'm stuck in my world, my life, and I go, I don't want to hear it. If I can leave a 24-year career to do this full time, oh, hallelujah. You have to have the passion. If you get to something else, you have to have the passion to make it work for you. And so with that, I'm very humble and I'm very pleased that people trust me to read them on the show. And if it's not someone you like, please write everything down or get this and send it to your parents. Say, who's she describing? You know, I hope I can go a whole hour. You hear my voice and get my hot coffee. All right, Sharma, who's the first one?
Let me enlarge these so I can read because I'm blind. Who we got here? All right. Let's see. Okay. So, I'm going to echo. I think it's your thing.
Oh, if you put your name on, let us know where you are. The first show we did this was England and Canada. That's so fun. Or what state you're in. That's really fun for me to know.
Okay, so here we go. All right. First one is Jen. Jen, are you from Vallejo? From the Bay Area. We'll go with that.
Hey, that's good enough. That's fun. People in New York would know then. Oh, I know the Bay Area. She's talking to the Bay Area. Okay. Oops.
I'd like to know who is hanging out with me today.
All right, Jen, in the Bay Area, you do have some people, like maybe she knew something was going on. You have a man standing to your left back shoulder, straight up and down, medium to little larger bone. He was not a skinny man, but maybe in his teens he was. He looks pretty tall to me. Brown to sandy brown hair. I don't know if I'm looking at it as he get older or what he looked like earlier in life. He had what we call a very pleasant looking face. And in his youth, they might have said, oh, he was handsome. So you'll have to think about who that is. Behind him, I see 2 people. One is a little taller woman and one is a short woman. The one in front said she lived into her 70s at least. She shows me a little bent forward, a little pull in, a little bit. I don't know if it's hard life, but if she had osteoporosis, that would explain that. The lady behind her doesn't look like she picked her oldest age. She looks like she moved up a little bit in age, probably 40s or 50s. Maybe you have to tell me if someone in your family. And she said she had a little rounder face. Well, I don't know what that means. I have a very broad face. I guess that means rounder. She might have been of a past generation. She looks like 40s and 50s, maybe. Her hair is up like this. I'd be curious if this is an aunt or something. Jen, I've given you a lot. Do you recognize any of these people yet?
We'll see. All right. Marisa from
Sorry.
Rancho. I want to know if Nancy might be able to come up with a name of who's around me, human or elemental.
You know, you have to pick a name, or like if I could come up with names, oh my gosh, that'd be fabulous. I want to tell everybody a story. I have a friend named Camille. Met her in 90, and I moved away in Arizona and went, just lost connection. Anyway, a psychic told her that she was going to marry a Bob. Bob never showed up. I learned that. So what I can trust is my vision. And 99% of the time, I can describe somebody. 99. I don't want to be that high up. It's kind of scary, right? I was double blind tested. That's the hard stuff, by Professor Gary Swartz. And he's been on Coast to Coast forever. He's the one who is designing and creating the soul phone. And what that is that you're going to be able to talk to your dead relatives. I was a test subject. And it proved to him, went to dinner, met him a few times. He goes, oh my God, Nancy. So yes, if you go to my website, right there in the front top, I have a link to what was said on that page. I think he moved around. I don't know where it is now, but I copied a whole page where he talks about double blind study tests. And it's very, very hard. I don't have time tonight to talk about it, but just pretend you're walking in a room and the people you're going to talk to are in the next room. You don't know who they are, don't know the culture, don't know the age. And he says, just tell me who shows up for them.
Let me rephrase that question. She has had some. It seemed like a prankster has been playing tricks in her apartment.
A spirit person?
Yeah, someone's been playing tricks in her apartment.
Is this the one that we know that? Okay, it's not who she thinks it is. It's someone else, and it's a family member. We've already talked of this. They want her to hurry up. And I feel like it's an older woman, smaller, scrawnier. She in life says I was very forceful. It's like no nonsense, no bullshit. Excuse me. Family hour, everybody. And she was tough. Damn. She was tough. You don't mess with her. And she's the one that's knocking things over, making lights, or doing something because she's impatient. Pay attention. Marissa must know who that is. Who is it, Marissa?
Judith from Citrus Heights would like to know who's around her.
Judith? Oh, hello, Judith. I've been doing some classes, and I'm done now almost. And we've got to at least have one more. And I really have enjoyed my ladies and gentlemen that was part of that class. And Judith is one of them. One more intuitive. Not the other girls weren't, but Judith is really good. She's, trying to be on that threshold of what to do. When I go to her real quick, there is a gentleman, and I don't recognize him, possibly hazel eyes, balding, wore his short hair really short like a buzz, but he was a bigger man. And as he got older, he got bigger. And it's heart failure or problems because of the weight. I don't know, diabetes or heart condition. Light eyes. You can tell my eyes are almost black. But when I look at somebody, sometimes I can just see the speckles of different colors like hazel. And I can't always tell blue, like I can see bright blue. But sometimes when you see hazel, it's different colors. It looks light to me. And he was, at his younger, people would say he was a pretty man. I don't want him to have hurt feelings when I say this, but he had really pretty eyes. So as a youth, he might have been thinner, but over time he got heavy. Judith, who am I talking to, honey?
Okay.
What they saying, Char?
Nothing yet. We got another one right behind that. Jerry, Roseville, California. Who's around me right now?
What is this a GERI or a
Yeah,
man or
G.
woman?
Roseville, California. Who's around me right now?
Jerry in Roseville?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm getting old, everybody. My hearing doesn't do as well. Jerry, sorry. Oh, this is different. Somebody who said he worked either the oil fields or large fields somewhere else. And first thing I thought of was a different state. I'd be curious who her relatives were. And was this man an outside person? Did he work a ranch, a farm, or was he involved? Because I'm looking at oil fields kind of a thing. And he was lanky, light skinned. Um, I'm not looking at him older. He's wanted me to see what he looked like when he was a hard worker, blue pants, blue jeans type of thing. Um, Jerry. Huh. He might be a grandfather. I'm not sure that's your father. Um, I don't think he lived as long as his partner did, his wife, because I feel like she lived a lot older. I'd be really curious did I misinterpret that? I don't think I've ever seen something like that. So make sure you get a note to me. In the room here.
Okay, Pamela from Wisconsin.
Ah, Wisconsin, back
Is there
east somewhere.
anyone around me, human or elemental?
Oh, I love that. Are you kidding? Um, Human or elemento. Of course, I want to go there, right? I mean, why not? Uh, which way am I looking? The other day, I had the opportunity to describe a house. And then it occurred to me, did I describe the house coming from the back or from the front? Was that you I was talking to privately about the spirit half in, half out? I couldn't remember if I was going through the front door or the back door. So I'm going to assume I'm going into the front door, through the house, into the backyard, and to the right. You have stirred the pot up. There's something back there that people um, who are really sensitive would understand to be elemental spirit people. And I do believe in that. I actually saw a gentleman once. I was on a date and I was looking out the window and there was one down the hill. And I go, oh, do I eat my dinner and be polite or do I stare at an elemental? And I want to say the small ones, not the short in stature, stocky build like I saw, but I want to say very light bodied, almost transparent. I think that you've seen their wings or they're flying around. Let me know if I have the backyard correct.
Okay.
And that's very, very cool. Let me back up a minute. Um, you have three people around you. One is a light skin, light hair grandmother that was wavy. Um, this is what my hair looks like out of the shower. I can make it curly. So I've kind of messed with it a little bit. It's wavy. So her hair got gray and white and it was wavy. She didn't have to, she just pushed it and made it look that good, I think. And it was a little heavier than thin. And it was kind of pretty, silver white hair. And pretty woman, like pug nose, like little nose. Not quite like mine, but she didn't have a honker. She was kind of attractive. So let me know who these people are. Oh, you're going to get overrun by the chat room, but if anybody writes back, it's always fun to know who I was describing.
We're getting to that. Marilyn from Hamilton, Ontario, Canada.
Oh,
Who is with me, please?
Ontario. Is that, sorry, is that East Coast or West Coast? Is that East Coast?
I don't know.
Someone write us a note.
Someone writes a note. Yeah, tell us where Hamilton is. Anyway, she wants to know who's with her.
I'm going to go more East Coast. I'd like to know how old her family is that live there or in this rounding East Coast line. There's a man that comes forward. He says it's been a long time since he's been gone. And he wants to be recognized. In fact, there's a grandmother showing up and he says, don't fight everybody. He said he was on ships, and I've never gotten something so far back. It makes me think he was in northern 13 colonies or further up into Canada. And he was a lanky man, medium complexion. People, if he walked in the room, people would call him dark. But I think he's a couple, 2, 3 generations back at least, because he was on a wooden ship. Yet nowadays there's wooden ships. But I want to think that he was a hardworking man. He shows me gnarly, hard, thicker hands that when men work hard, he does that. And he says he's not been around. If you see him, you tell me you've seen him or you know of him. He says he's not been recognized for a long time. He's given me this long time. I'm asking him how he died. And I don't think he had good mouth or teeth. I don't know if it killed him, but he says he suffered. So I'll be curious if you have any idea who this is. And the woman feels like a father's relative. Medium to slimmer lady, possibly a little taller. I'm 5'4", so anybody above 5'4" is taller to me. She has a little bit of a heel on too. I would call a striking looking lady. Mm-hmm. And she likes that acknowledgement. Don't know who for sure she is. She kind of changed her skin color on me. It looked like, unless she put rouge or color on her face at one point, and now she shows me older. And it's not the color. It threw me off a little bit. Is anybody writing notes in here yet?
Yes, I got it. Jen says it could be her grandparents.
Oh, okay.
And she's not sure about the man with sandy hair. She's going to research more on that.
Oh, she didn't. I can't remember. See, we need feedback faster because I can't remember what I said. So if she got the grandparents. The other man, it might have been on the father side of the family. Check. I'm just feeling it.
All right. Facebook user from Sacramento.
Who?
Facebook user from Sacramento, Christina.
Facebook
likes to know if she's got any negative energy causing, if there's any negative energies causing issues in her life right now.
I think you really try to be positive and uplifting. I don't feel like it's all you, but I do feel like you have a moody, broody personality at times, and I think you have attracted spirits to you. You're going to have to get to a place where you know who you are energetically, feel your life force, feel your energy. And if you feel anything bump against you, you have spirits that are attached to, wanting attached to you when you get down, because they are like, spirit wants to connect like by like. So if you struggle because economy, because your life, whatever, pull it back and realize, and this is hard, everybody, because I have to remind myself, is that maybe we've chose this existence, this life for the experience, and it's how we deal with it is why we're here. So don't let it get you down and say, screwed up, or okay, give up, or let's go forward. I tell my people, one step at a time, one breath at a time. That's all we can do. And so I feel right now there's a little heaviness in her spirit, and you may be attracting people who want to be part of you because they never recovered. They're not ghosts. They're not stuck, but they haven't recovered from life. And there's a little bit of difference there. We could do a whole show on that, but I don't want to. Huh?
That's a good show idea.
Yeah, I deal with a lot of them. Excuse me. That sounds.
And is there someone trying to give her a message?
Oh, a very sweet voiced lady, very pleasant, very compassionate, very soft. She shows me, she touches your shoulder, and it's like what I was just saying. Take it easy, kind of a statement. Mm-hmm. Delicate little hands touch your shoulder. As people get older, their hands get a little thinner. What mine do. It feels like this woman had little tiny hands, and I see her touching your left shoulder. Are you doing it now? Oh, maybe there's a real softness with you right now. People ask my family what I should do. They ask for advice. They had a life. They're not supposed to live yours. And so I'm really cautious about giving messages, because someone said to me once, well, if you can't get an answer, ask my mom in spirit to tell me what to do. And I go, oh my. So a lot of times these people show up to let you know you're not alone. They're not suffering by yourself. And that's really huge. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm getting a little tired. Huh?
BJ from Sacramento wants to know if there's anyone around her.
I'm curious. The one woman from Canada, that man. There's a couple of things. And go ahead.
It's coming up next. But BJ in Sacramento would like to know if there's anyone around her.
There's a man behind her that died of illness, and I can smell him. So he died of a disease. And it's not like he regretted dying, but he might not have been very old, or what we call 70, 80 year range. I can't tell what it was, but there's a little bit of regret with his life, and I don't know how he relates to her, but he wants no one to grieve for him. I have no idea. Why doesn't he tell me who he is? Show me. Show me. Show me. Sometimes if I can't see them, either they've been in spirit a long time and they forgot what they look like, or they were diseased and they didn't like their body. So I'd be really curious on him. What was this person's name I'm talking to?
BJ.
BJ, let me know what that means. A lot of diseases have a smell. Alcoholism, diabetes, cancer. Do you recognize, Shar, do you know who this is I'm talking to? Okay.
I know who it is, yeah. But, yeah. I know who you're talking to.
And maybe it's a man we're talking to. See if he recognizes that family member or whoever this is that's important.
It's a female. It's a female.
Oh, BJ's a female.
Yeah, BJ's
But you know who he is, so you made reference to the spirit man.
Yeah.
You know who the spirit man is?
No, I don't.
Oh.
I just know BJ. I know BJ.
Okay. Well, then some of these people can get back to you over after the show's over.
Right. Judith says possibly uncle. Was his hair curly?
Oh, okay. She recognized him then? I can't remember what I said now. It's been too long.
Uncle with a question mark. Was his hair curly? That's what she's wondering.
One more time?
Well, she says uncle with a question mark. And was his hair curly?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and was I'm not sure I see ringlets, but way curlier than mine. And he wore it up. I don't see it falling in his face.
Now here's a question with Marisa. Could this lady be somebody from like way in her family tree, like way back?
I just see him. It's up to you to find him. Her personality was so distinctive and strong that maybe she was from one or two generations back.
Right.
She fit the bill. She
says, she doesn't recognize who the woman is, so I'm thinking maybe it was somebody from way back.
I would check with your grandmas, if she didn't know who they are, because I know how old she is about. So if her grandmother isn't, which side of the family had the smaller, a wiry, strong grandma?
Right. Okay.
That feeling comes over me. I like these people when they show up with the personality of their life. They have a mission. They're going to make sure you follow through. It's almost impatient. So, is it Marissa we're talking to?
Yeah.
So Marissa must have something that has to get done. Finish up. Get on with your life. Oops, sorry. I'm pounding the table. Jesus. I love it.
Judith says it could be her father. He had blue eyes and died of cancer.
And was that the one with the smell?
That might be the one with the smell, yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah. Okay.
Unfortunately, sometimes some people, when they pass over, they remember smelling themselves, or there was a smell or someone said something, and it stays with people. I don't get that all the time, but it's kind of curious. Why is that happening like that?
Right.
Jerry says,
go ahead.
Go ahead. What, Jerry?
Jerry says she's from a family of farmers, hard workers in the field. I think this is her grandpa or great-grandfather.
Okay, so that makes sense. That's an open, and I should have asked what state. Right. Be curious if there was oil fields around.
Right.
Be curious. Hard work, man.
Well, you're hitting one for one today. Pamela says that it's her grandmother. Yay.
I don't remember what I said, though.
Yeah, the people around her. She recognized her grandmother.
Okay, but so when I describe somebody, if you get instant like that, be sure to write it down so Shar can tell me, because I forgot what I remember. It just goes really fast.
Yeah. You know. Danetta, can you tell me where you're from? And then we can ask the question about somebody being. Nancy just likes to know where you're from, but Danetta would like to know who's around her.
Before I talk to her, someone lost a child, a female, 3, 5-ish. Who is that in the room? Or I got it before I started the show, and I thought, oh fudge, no one's. There's not much I can do about that. I think one of the shows I've had this woman show up a few times, young woman, and clearly she was in water when she passed away. And I said to myself, I don't know what to do with that. Like of all the places in the world, how can I find that one family, let them know that it's too hard.
Right.
So this young girl was buried in white with lacy kind of a thing, and she looks like 3 to 5 years old. I've already forgot who was in the who. What did you ask me? Who was the last person? First,
Yeah.
I didn't hear you.
Danette. I think her name's Danette.
Daniette?
Yeah, Danette. Or Danette, yeah.
And where is she from?
I don't know. It just says ask her name there.
Oh, right, it is all fun, hun. She might be very intuitive or haunted. Feels like this woman has a lot of people around her. I don't know if she lives in a community or high rise or somewhere where there's been people. Remember that one show we did and I saw all these people outdoors surrounding the house, and the man said, yeah, there was a mine behind my house and there's a bunch of people died. Where this woman lives, also I see a lot of people, women too, not just men and women, and 2 young people. I hope she's not going to write in to say there had been death in her family. A lot of people passed away. But she may be pulling people to her inadvertently. I think she has really good energy. She may be very intuitive, maybe a medium, and she's pulling people to her. Oh my gosh, I forgot her name already. And make sure she writes a note. I want to know. I want to know where she is. Not just state, but where is she that she pulls these people in? And if you're not in the business and you don't necessarily want to do this, make sure you tell the people not to get to you, because if they're not in a good space or they want you to recognize it and can't do that, you're going to feel it all the time. I can feel 3 people, a man and 2 women behind me, around me, right here. Man's there, woman's here. They're kind of like, I'm sure I know who, probably family. Like, oh, look what Mom Nancy's doing, But this woman is pulling. I see 2 women, a child for sure, and a couple of men, at least. That's a lot of people.
Well, for what it's worth, guys, for people listening in that situation, I have a beacon, and I draw people in. I always have. And so that's why I had to learn how to control the beacon, because otherwise I'd have people coming through like a conga line. So,
like a grocery line. Let's begin.
My house is full anyway, but if I go to a cemetery, they're lined up behind me like a conga line. So I do draw people. It's my energy level. And so there's nothing wrong with it. It's just
burner.
You have the ability, yeah. Marilyn says she's from Ontario, 40 miles south of Toronto.
Hold on a minute. Is this Danette?
No, this is Marilyn now. She says she lives in southern Ontario, which is 40 miles south of Toronto. That's the one.
This is Marilyn. Yeah. So this is not the woman.
She says no one she knows. But like I said in the beginning of the show, you could have people showing up that you don't know from like way, 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 way back in your family tree.
Yes, the man by the water.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't know.
Yeah. Her parents are Czech and Italian. Cool. She's first generation Canadian, she says. Canada's cool. I like Canada.
We have a lot of actors coming from Canada because of different labor law rules. I don't know if did we already talk to her?
Yeah.
And her family was Italian?
She did say that her parents died younger and that her brother died at 50. And her uncle was very intuitive. Oh, that's Judith. Sorry. I get down these days. I gotta watch what I'm doing. But yeah, Marilyn says her brother died at 50. Her parents died younger, and she's a first-generation Canadian. Good for you. I like Canada.
Like we said, and I don't remember what I told her. Was that the one with all the people around her?
I think so.
So
Clarify for me, Marilyn. Clarify for me, Marilyn. Okay, Judith says her uncle was very intuitive. Okay. And Danette says she's from British Columbia, from Vancouver.
And did I talk to her?
Yeah, that's the one that is drawing people to her.
Oh, what does she think about that?
Yeah, what do you think about the people being drawn towards you, Danette? Share it with me. She says thank you. Okay, that's it for now for the comments. So we wait now.
Come on. If you can't figure out who this is, make sure you check with family. But most people recognize people right away.
Yeah.
And not always, I shouldn't say it like that. But there's a generalization in the families that unless you're adopted, you can recognize people pretty easily. And I've had people adopted. Oh, I have stories, you guys. Oh my gosh. Anybody else?
I think that's it. So
well, it's been really fun. I do like doing that.
That was the man on the ship. So, we're clarifying a little bit on this stuff. I mean, that's what it is. Nancy sees multiple. You guys got to remember when the psychic sees things, when most psychics see stuff, they don't see it like moving in slow motion in front of them, okay? It comes in flashes. So they're seeing, they might see somebody with blonde hair go running by, or they might see a flash of something else. So they're putting it together. And they're having to put it together like a puzzle. So that's what this is. It's not that she's, and then like you see these psychics that they call out on TV that are fishing. There's psychics that fish. Nancy doesn't fish. Nancy just calls it out and just goes for it. What's coming to her.
I guess I missed. She said she doesn't know anybody who worked by the water.
She says that was the man on the ship. So she knows about a man on the ship.
Okay.
So, yeah. But I'm just saying that's what you guys got to remember when you talk with some psychics, not all of them, but some psychics see stuff go by so fast that they just have a few seconds when these ghosts appear and these people appear to them to put it together.
Right.
And come out with stuff. So that's what Nancy's doing. She's not fishing or anything. She's telling you straight out what she's getting as she's seeing these things.
And sometimes I have to tell them I want more. Yeah. And then they'll solidify their looks for me.
Yeah, for me, when I get these things, which I don't very often because it exhausts me, but when I have seen them in the past, it's happened to me where all I see is a flash of a face, and then they're gone. It's that quick for me.
Yeah.
So, Yeah.
I just think because I've been doing it so long now, people really want to be recognized. In fact, you could call a family member and say, I haven't thought of you in a long time, Aunt Hazel, so I'm thinking of you now. And they just love it. They want to know they didn't disappear from human consciousness.
Fawn, where are you from? Fawn says great show, and she wants to know if there's anything you can pick up on her.
I didn't hear her name, honey.
Her name is Fawn. Tell me where you're from, Fawn. Don't be shy.
FAWN?
Yes.
Did she say where she's from?
I'm waiting. But she wants to know if there's anything you can pick up on her.
Anything?
Yeah.
Be curious if she has important people in her past. It makes me think that she's come from a lineage that'd be very interesting research. I'm not going to say royalty, but maybe connected.
Sure.
I don't know if I'm looking at Eastern European or somewhere else. Just be curious about that. She holds within her important, but I don't know what that means. If she hasn't become important, she has a chance to become important. And I'm not sure what that means. She'll have to, what's her name, Fawn? Be curious to know what I'm picking up.
She says they're Italian. She's from California, by the way. She says her thing is Italian. So that's cool. Yeah, European. Cool.
Yeah, there's more. Is she the one that we were just talked about?
Fawn.
Be curious if she's from Italy or that eastern part of the. If you could do genealogy, you might find something interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
She says she lost her husband last year.
What?
She says she lost her husband last year.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I wonder why I picked that up and didn't pick up her husband. Because I don't see a man there.
Well, he might not be there right now.
I know,
maybe,
but I'm sorry.
That pick him up, yeah.
What's that?
Nice. It'd be nice to pick him up, but I mean, sometimes they're just not around. That's unfortunate.
It's interesting how I word things because I said there's something important about her.
Right.
Maybe she needs to think about her life now. And I'm all for my mother lost my dad. She was only 29. And I had one lady that was widowed a couple of times, and she just couldn't quite figure things out. She was raising 3 young boys. And I get really where it's really hard. I think, why is it so hard? Yet I do believe we pick our lives. I've done enough past life regression work that it is astounding to me. And sometimes we have to tell the universe, if I cannot finish my life with this person today, I want him next lifetime. And I do believe you have that choice.
Awesome.
Yeah, I do believe that. So sometimes that's the only way we can get through some of the unfortunate situations.
Yes. Jerry, you do have psychic abilities. You got to work on that. Okay? We got to work on your abilities. You do have psychic abilities.
Do you know who that was is that the one I said I felt the abilities around her?
Mm-hmm. Oh, that was someone else, but I know Jerry has abilities. That I know.
You answered a question from the chat room.
Yeah. I was just. Okay, Fawn says she's done genealogy, and oh yeah, Fawn's like me. She's a psychic to a point, but she blocks it. So do I. Okay, so Marilyn says her family was not close with any of her relatives. There's families like that. That's no biggie. But sometimes after people pass, this is the issue. After people pass, all is forgiven, and it's like even you may not have been close to these people, but they're still around you.
Mm-hmm.
They still come around you. I mean, that's what it is. It's like once people cross over, everything changes.
Oh, they're understanding the greater purpose on why they were brought together to do a life together. Well, our humanness is what causes our relationships. But when people pass over, they go, that life was crazy. Did you not see how we fought? Wasn't that fun? Yes. So it's the afterlife when you catch up. You go, you want to do that one again? You want to do that life again? Do it again. We'll try again. And we get to try over and over until we learn. The only reason life is here is for experience being in the flesh and learning to love and care for people. Yet in my life, I've had to move away from people because my life was stuck because they were here in my life. So we have to be very careful how we balance.
Pamela has a question it's a good question too. Can people who have passed over hear us talk to them?
Oh, absolutely. I hear it all the time. And sometimes they'll get so excited they think, and you made a comment that was very, very good. So where I get tired, I am stuck in a meat jacket. They don't have to wear this. So their thoughts or actions are hugely faster. Boom. It's like playing chopsticks on the piano versus hearing a Mozart. Their vibration is so much greater. And I'll hear a sentence and go, I go, what? And I have to speed up and they have to slow down to hear it. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I'll be flashed pictures because we can't hear us as fast. Right. But then sometimes, and I'm not saying this is something I like all the time, they become and they step into me briefly so I can hear them speak and I'll speak those words. It's like the fellow with the newspaper with my real estate agent. I almost felt like I had to sit back and do this with the newspaper because his actions captured my body. Mm-hmm. It was just overwhelming. So I've had that happen quite a bit of time, but they don't stay with me because I won't allow it. Right, right. I'm a bossy old woman. You ain't going to be part of me very long, honey. Just leave your message.
Marilyn added, my dad was the youngest of 14 and most were dead. She says my mother was adopted. Wow. Okay.
Is that the one with all the spirit people around her?
I think so, yeah.
Whole bunch of people.
That's been a crazy night, guys. Crazy night. But yeah, I mean, when we start talking, in fact, I'm going to flip this up now so I can see Nancy.
Sorry, cat. Yeah. This is bad.
What is that? It's a cat person. Okay.
Yeah. I pick him up. Oh no, this is Joe. This one has they're brothers. This one sounds like a Siamese. Yeah. And they get really gnarly.
It's interesting when you start working with different psychics. On my team, I have 5 psychics that I work with in the field. And it's interesting because each one of them has abilities, but the abilities are different in the way they receive. And so when we're out on an investigation, I said, like when I talk to a client, interview a client, I will send out a certain psychic to work that case who has those certain abilities, because they all don't have the same abilities. I've got one that channels. I've got one that gladly channels. And lets the spirit enter, and some just don't like it because it's exhausting. So it just depends. It depends on the psychic. I mean, I was at my cousin's funeral, and I don't like to have the visions because I have a bad heart, so it exhausts me. And I happened to see my cousin. She appeared right in front of me, her
Wow.
face, and then disappeared. Of course, I was knocked out for 3 days afterwards, but I did see her, and that's, like I said earlier, that's how some psychics see them. It just comes so fast. And when I teach my psychic development classes, I teach that there's no wrong answers, because there aren't. Because like I said, sometimes these things can go so fast that you're just rattling off. You're writing stuff down. You're reading. Just like if you ever watch somebody that use automatic writing, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
They'll just write what starts out to be a bunch of gibberish, and they keep writing and they keep writing and they keep writing, and eventually
Circles.
it starts to make sense.
But
that's just the way the messages come in.
Sometimes you just do loops and the words end up being there.
Yeah.
It's very exciting to think that we have connections that you can make. I have pop-ups all the time, and it gets right in my way here. It's exciting because I think one of my journey is to get people not to struggle with their life so much.
Right.
And then I've had people say to me, "Oh my, this just happened the other day. A woman had a reading from me, and I just went, and she says, I can't believe this is somebody from Loomis." And she didn't give me permission. But she said, "I didn't think you had it." And over the years, 15 years, everything has happened.
Mm-hmm.
You can't judge what I'm supposed to get, but only you give me what I can say. I can't go just pick and choose.
Yeah.
That I call myself a big sponge. I just am a receiver. If I could reach in and get everything, I would tell you the lotto numbers. Oh, heck yes. I'd give them to my husband if I could,
That's a weird topic, because I know Karen has talked about that. And she told me that anytime that she's tried to do lotto numbers, she gets these massive headaches. Like, Spirit doesn't want you guys doing that. That's not part of what you guys are supposed to do.
It's true. I don't gamble. I'll buy a quick pick. I've gone to the casinos, but I end up picking machines that have already won. How do I know that? Because people come by and say, that one's the big one. Go to somewhere else. You know why? Because I picked the one up with the most energy. Are you going to have more energy because you won, or how many people have lost? And it stays there. It builds up. I can't tell the difference.
Right.
If I went to a machine was dead feeling, would that be better than one had a lot of energy? I wouldn't know the difference.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to waste my money. It's just not going to happen.
And I can tell you guys a story. One of the first psychics I had on my team was a channeler. And at least with Karen, when she does it, she tells you that she's going to channel, which makes it nice, And the one I had, the first one, she was really great psychic. I'm not denying her abilities, but she wouldn't tell you. So you'd be walking like through a room with her, and all of a sudden her personality and demeanor would change.
Is that the one from Texas that moved away?
Yeah. Yes.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yep.
Very good, but boy, at first when I met her, I was spooked. In fact, my first reaction, she wasn't even on my team at that point. I laughed and I said, "Oh my God, we're out here with Sybil," because she scared me, But once I got used to, it's like all of a sudden it's like her whole demeanor's changed. But the more I got used to it with her, the easier, it was easier to deal with, because I knew what to expect with her. Now with Karen, Karen will say, "Okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to channel." So we'd all sit there and be ready to have Karen channel. And she'd say, "If I get in too deep, grab me by the shoulders and shake me to get me out."
And that can happen. It's happened to me. I'm trying to remember the last time. I can't. It almost like I'm taken over. They're not necessarily stepped into me as much as I've gone too deep into the time, or to the person. What I mean by that is, it's going to sound awful. I can see through your eyes, people's eyes, and I'm a really cheap tourist. I have a gentleman in New York who can afford to go to the pyramids and can afford to go to Greece. So he did a Galapagos Island and he did Greece. And he says, Nancy, step in. I want to show you this place I went to. And he'll describe the day, and I can see then what he can see in time. And it's kind of spooky. I don't have to travel. I just have people travel, and I can step into it.
Well, that's what we've done on investigations. When I haven't had a psychic on site available, remember? Mm-hmm. Where I would walk through the house, and you would be my eyes. And it's funny because Nancy get frustrated with me because I'd be walking through this house. She'd go, "Well, there's someone standing right there. Don't you see him?" No, I don't see nothing.
I can see him
right in front of you. He's right touching you. He's right in front of you. I don't see nothing. And yeah. So Nancy and I have done several investigations like that. Where I didn't have one of my regular field psychics available, and she's used me, and we've done the walkthrough.
So the one that stands out, of course, is go upstairs, turn the left, go down the hall to the right, and in the last door, you'll see a rocking chair, and a man sitting there is rocking.
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah. Oh my God. It was just as she described it. I looked over there, and the rocking chair is moving, and I'm like, oh my God. Well, what gets me with Nancy is she does a lot of remote reads for us, where the way we do it is that we'll get a house, and I won't tell her where it's at, or a building. I won't tell her where it's at or nothing. I'll just send her a photo of the front. No address, no nothing. Yeah. And Nancy will tell me what the inside looks like down to the wallpaper print. And it freaks me out. You'll go into the front door, you'll make a right, and then there's the dining room, and the wallpaper has little pink polka dots or whatever on it, And,
remember flowers or butterflies or something.
Yeah, or something. Yeah, on there. And I'll go in thinking, okay, fine. So I go walking in there, and sure enough, it's like that. It gets creepy after a while. Because you don't expect her to be that accurate, but she is.
And it's just remote viewing, a form of it. Yeah. The first time that happened, a gentleman from the local area, it was early 90s, and he wanted me to see how his sister was doing. And when I went to New York, found her, she was doing the dishes in the front room. I was doing the dishes in the kitchen, but it was a 2-story house. And when I looked around a little bit, I looked through the window, and I came up out of the house, and there had been this huge fire. Everything was burned up around her. And I said, yeah, Jerry. Thank you.
I'm sorry, Jerry. I hit the wrong button by accident. I apologize. I'll hide you back. Okay. That was my class.
And he said, that's exactly why I want you to see if she's okay, because there had been a big forest fire all around her house. It must have been up in New York. I don't know where it was, but there had been a big fire. That was the first time that I realized I was a remote viewer. And I've done this a lot. One gentleman had me go cross country and asked me to talk about, I'm going somewhere I shouldn't. Insulations inside mountains. And there had been a big explosion. He didn't know about it, so he did the research. And in the desert, there's mountain there, and he did some research. He says, Nancy, there was, and the first floor crashed into the second, and the second crashed into the third floor inside this mountain. Wow. And I go, ooh, military kind of a thing. It was 93 or 94, he asked me, so anybody could do research and find that. I'm going to let names out. No one's giving me permission. I have to be really careful.
Right. Hey, Danette had an interesting question. She says, does she have any haunted toys in her house? Because she's gone to some secondhand stores and gotten toys.
Yeah, there's a little one. I can see it on the ground. I don't know if it had wheels or a toy that crawled, or it feels like it's on the ground. So I don't know if you gave it a child or you have it decorated around and it's close to the floor. And it feels like there's more energy to it. I cannot see a form, but I think that as with, my son is adult. He's almost 50, but he had a pillow, and that sucker went with him for 3 years. A lot of love was put into the pillow. I have it. I kept it. And every time I pull it out, I want to grab it and love it. Now, you imagine if there's a lot of turmoil or a child pass away or a toy, it's going to keep that energy. So this energy, whether it's positive or negative, I can see it so clearly that there is one or possibly 2 toys, and it's sitting on the ground or was on the ground. It was a toy on the ground, and it has a lot of energy to it, and you would pick that up. I can't always tell what it means, but I do get that.
Now just remember, since we're wrapping up now, Nancy will be back with us until a week from Friday. So she
Yeah,
gets
normal Friday night show.
a normal Friday night. Yeah, we're gonna have our normal relaxing Friday night. But because of the way the schedule ended up this week, we had to move everything around. But it's been a great night. It's a good night of readings. It's been a good night of conversation.
Kind
And
of some interesting questions.
yeah,
I'd like to know more. I don't know where this gal is, the fairy energy. And I've seen the little fairies with the wings type of thing.
right,
I
right.
don't know what stirs them up or what that was. Unfortunately, I don't know which way. Was it going out the back door or going out the front door that she has all this greenery and those little people are right there, and which I do believe in. But we have
That's
more on the unseen world than we can ever imagine.
absolutely. In fact, to give you guys a little enlightenment about fairy energy, I was real sarcastic about it. We did one investigation in Folsom a while back where the psychic said there was fairy energy, and I was like, okay, fine, I'll go with it. But we just did one during COVID out in Rockland
Oh,
where we ran into a lot of activity, and it turned out to be fairy activity. And that one I believe because you could actually hear the voices. I could hear the voices. I could hear
ooh,
the EVP, and there were like a bunch of little voices. So like you would think
they
fairies
talk
would be
really fast.
talking real fast.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Yeah, it was crazy. So yeah, I mean, so I believe I do believe. Anyway, tomorrow again we're shifting gears a little bit because as I told you guys, I don't like to do I love paranormal. Don't get me wrong. I'm all good with it. I mean, the hat, everything. But I'm a journalist, so I like to change it up a bit. So tomorrow, David Keck was the victim of a hate crime,
Mm.
and he barely survived it, but he survived. So he's
Ooh.
made it his thing in life to have a podcast to help people who are victims of hate crimes and other abuse. So he is going to be on tomorrow with us at 6:30 p.m. Pacific. So it's a little shift, but I think it's meaningful enough for people to look into because it's something that happens all over the place, and it happens more times than people want to admit. You know, so it's something near and dear to my heart. So he's going to be with us tomorrow night. I'll give you a heads up for the week for the people that aren't normally checking things out. David Keck is with us tomorrow night. Anna Marie Manalo will be with us on Wednesday night or Thursday night, and she is the one. I do my Sunday reading. She is the one that wrote The Way Through the Woods about the German girl who escaped the Nazis.
Ooh. Ooh.
It's based on a true story, but it's also what she calls a true ghost story, and it was based on a true story. So
Ooh.
she has a book coming out about haunted antiques.
Oh, there we are.
So when I get done reading the Lizzie Borden book, which I've been reading every Sunday, we're going to read the haunted antique book behind it. But anyway, Anna Maria is going to be with us on Thursday. Friday, Mitzi Zurato is going to be with us, and Mitzi Zurato writes true crime books about stuff you don't hear about. I mean, you guys always hear about the big time, murderers like Bundy and stuff. She writes about the ones that you don't hear about, but they're just as interesting. So she's going to be with us on Friday. Okay, so that gives you guys a kind of heads up, to plan this stuff. But anyway, I want to thank you all for coming. Nancy, thank you for coming. As always, it's a pleasure. We've known each other forever, and it's a pleasure. We never get tired of gabbing. And yeah, we got some topics we can pull out of here for our next show when we do it. Um, if you're watching from Facebook and you enjoyed it, please hit the follow button. If you're watching from Twitch, please hit that follow button. And YouTube, of course, I keep saying it like a broken record, but there's that little ghost down there in the corner, with the magnifying glass and the Sherlock Holmes hat on, and that's how you subscribe. You click on that, and you'll get alerted to every show that we do, whether it's new or old or whatever. But I really appreciate each and every one of you. You guys, our numbers have grown. It's just incredible, and I'm really excited, and it's all because of you.
I want to say thank you also. Shar, before the show started, it said I had 90 downloads. And I'm just, I don't know where you said it was from, but it's very satisfying to think that you are interested. And I love that. It takes time and energy for us to do these shows. And it's in the midst of a move. I've been doing this for few months now. And I have a cat. I'm trying to get him not to meow. he's just and anyway, I apologize. I just want to make sure I tell people how much I appreciate the listening. And
Absolutely.
and if you have a topic that you want Shar and I to talk about, please bring it up. I've been in business a long time, born with this condition, so I can almost talk about anything. So if you find a topic you like, you want another perspective, because I'm very square. I don't the salt of the earth. You get it. You get it right. I don't. I don't package it pretty. I'm telling you right now. So anyway, go to nancymatz.com if you want to read up on Professor Gary Swartz. It's right at the top. And I was very flattered with that. All right, Shara, sorry. Interrupt.
Okay. And for you guys that are dabbling at being psychic, I do teach psychic development classes. I'm getting ready to teach another one here very soon, so just keep an eye out. California Haunts has a meetup page, so californiahauntsmeetup.com. And check us out over there if you're interested in any of the events that we have too. We're also going to be doing a ghost hunt at a haunted hotel. That's coming up too. Woo-hoo. So we're going to be doing a ghost hunt with only about 5 people with us. But we're going to be doing a ghost hunt at a very popular haunted hotel. So it's going to be interesting. In fact,
can you tell where?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
They remodeled this hotel, so it's going to be even more interesting.
Boy, we really had fun at some of these hotels.
Yeah.
And one of them was really strange. I saw General Grant standing in front of it.
General Grant standing in front of it.
And you went and confirmed that. How weird is that? Why was he standing there? Like maybe I'd take a picture in time, saw him when he was there.
Because he stayed there as a guest.
He stayed there. Well, I'm sure he has other locations, but here in California, have him come here.
But he stayed there, so he's the famous occupant there. So so we're going to be getting some events going here and stuff. So we're starting to get all that rolling. But again, I want to thank each and every one of you, including our overseas people that come in to listen to us. We have a lot of people in Europe and the Middle East that listen to us. Thank you. And the UK, oh my gosh, it's amazing. It's amazing how this show has grown, and it's still growing. So I'm really excited about that, and it's because of you guys. Anyhow, if you like the show, share it with 5 people. If you hated the show, send it to 5 of your enemies to get even. It's all good. Equal opportunity here,
Equal opportunity. Good. I love that.
Yeah. So I mean, whatever works, but we want to get the word out. The more people that hear about the show, the more people come to watch us, and it's something we love to do. We love to do this. Check us out at CaliforniaHauntsRadio.com. Check the paranormal group out at CaliforniaHaunts.org. The website might be down. We're in the process of redoing it. It's a huge website, so I'm moving it over from one server to another. So it might be down, but little by little, we're going to have that thing up and operational. There's a lot of interactive stuff on there. You see that ticker at the bottom? This is where I get to beg you guys, kind of my PBS moment, because all this costs money to maintain, and internet and computers and lights and all the stuff you see here, including equipment for the paranormal team and travel expenses and all that. The only way I can do that is through donations, because that's all I do. This is what I do. So if you find it in your heart to help me out a little bit, that would be great at paypal.me/CaliforniaHaunts, or if you're uncomfortable with PayPal, Venmo. Just type in California Haunts. That's all. Anyway, again, I want to thank you all, and do check the meetup for classes and whatnot. And Nancy and I will be around in another week and a half with Nancy. She'll be back with us. A week from Friday. She'll be back with us. And I'm going to show you some of Nancy's stuff, because Nancy has some books too that you guys might be interested in. So here we go. Let me do that. Websites are nancymatz.com. Nancy Matz author with the N, the M, and the A capitalized.com. And then you've got youtube.com/Nancy Matz Psychic. And we've got Help Get Me Out of This Funk by Nancy Matz. And A Creaky Chair by Nancy Matz. And you've got Two Worlds, Developing Your Psychic Skills by Nancy Matz. And you've got The Unwilling Sacrifice by Nancy Matz. And she's writing more books, too. So it's going to be really cool. And, of course, you can get those at Amazon.com. The usual suspects, right? Anyway, I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good evening. And I guess I'll just say see ya. Bye.
That's it.